This is an Eliminator Big-V intake manifold. Now, I haven't seen one of these things, so this is actually pretty cool. It's pretty much a tunnel ram with a single carburetor on top. They sell it as a single plane carburetor, but as you guys can see, this is definitely a tunnel ram with a single plane carburetor on top. Now, this is going to be going on a 572 big block Ford, NA, no nitrous, nothing like that, and it's going to be in a sand truck. So, hoping to make, 900, 950 horse pretty easily, I would say, with all the other things that are going in this, 14.5 to 1, trick flow heads, nice stuff. I'm just going to smooth things out through here. This has a knife edge on it that I'm not too thrilled about at all. So what I'm going to do is more round this off. See how this is more rounded here? We're going to create that here, 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 and here. And then on the bottom of the floor, way down there, you can see some casting flaws. We're just going to smooth those out. That's it. And then I'm just going to blend this into the runner. Guys, this intake's, like I said, it's really, really nice. Don't have to do a whole lot to it. What I did notice is on these ports, if you guys can't see it, from here going up, the port shifts this way. And a lot of them do it. You can see that big bulge that comes around here. So I've already scribed them, already did my thing on the runners. Now you guys got the idea. Just cleaned up that bottom section where the casting flaws were, smoothed these out, blended this through. Now this is still just the really rough cut. I'm going to clean things up a little bit better than that. But just to give you guys the idea of that's all that I'm doing. That's all that's really needed on this intake. Like I said, this is a nice clean intake. So now I'm going to flip it and we're going to gasket match this stuff. Now I got something to show you guys here on what I would consider like casting shift. And again, this is a very, very nice intake, but there is some casting shift big time on these ports. This is going to be a prime one to show you what's going on in some of these. Notice this line here where it comes up and then it drops back down. The edge of the gasket is right here, and if I did a straight line, all of this is below it. You can see at my finger, there's a line that goes from there all the way up like that. I can feel where it hits right here, and it hits that hump and then just drops down. This whole chunk where my finger is, all of this is completely dropped. I would have to grind all of this away to make it equal this drop, and if I did that, it will not match the cylinder head. So we'd have to make the cylinder head bigger to be able to accommodate for this, to smooth all this out. This isn't the only one. There's a couple of them that have the same drop in it. You see that line right there? You can see where the edge of my line is. It's right there. And if you kept it going straight, it would be probably a 1/16 of an inch above this. Notice how the entire port does that. It drops way down in here. I can't fix that. The only way to fix it is to either make it the size of this and then go all the way squared, but you'd have to do it to the cylinder head. So that's a couple of things that I'm not too happy with. There's another example. See the line right here, right where my finger is? Cuts across right there. See where it is? Right there. And then this whole section drops down. that again is casting flaws. So when you're doing gasket match and stuff like that, don't try to make it perfectly, oh, I got to make it perfectly symmetrical and all that. You do not want the intake ports bigger than the cylinder head. If you do, you're going to run into a wall, turbulence, you're just going to completely screw the port up. If the intake ports are smaller than the cylinder head, that'll work, because then it's kind of dropping down into the cylinder head. What we don't want to do is have it come in, hit a wall, and then have to go up and then into the cylinder head. Bad news right there. And I could probably tell you right now, he's going to have some of that problem going on because of these casting issues. Again, I'm not too impressed with that portion of it. That could have been tightened up a little bit better for sure. So here's our finished product. You can see where I got everything smoothed out. Like I said, how far down I ended up going. No more knife edges on there. Everything's nice and smooth. Bottom of the floor, I got rid of all that crap and just casting flaws that were in there. And then I just blended this section in. You can see where I just blended all that down and in. Same thing on this side. Just took that, blended it in, and that was it. And then on the runners, that's about as far in as I went. It's about an inch or so, maybe an inch and a half at the most. But again, you can see with some of these, like I've been saying, it's a perfect example of how it kicks out like that. Well, my one main thing with this is that the ports, the casting itself, there was just too much shifting in that sense. The intake itself looks great, but I know it's going to do the job. It's going to work out pretty damn well for him. Hopefully, like I said, this thing will make 900 plus, depending on how much cam and cylinder heads and all that. I mean, it could make 1,000 horse, but it's a cool looking intake. I was happy to be able to grind on it and kind of get an idea of what's out there in the Ford world, and this is pretty cool. So hope you guys dug it. Hope you're out there busting your knuckles, working hard on your guys' stuff. So till we meet again, my friends, hope to see you at a car show, maybe at the drag strip, something like that. I'll be looking for you this summer. Take care. See ya.